revising the syllabus. Means totally I have told you some chapters in your first year biology. And what are the chapters I have told you? That means here, first the living world, and biological classification, and plant kingdom, and morphology of flowering plants, and the next one, cell, the unit of life, and biomolecules, cell cycle, and cell division, photosynthesis, in higher plants, respiration in plants. These were the chapters we have discussed in your first year syllabus. And as you know that we are revising the syllabus, means one by one chapter I will revise you, and it takes 10 classes, and day by day in each class I will revise only one chapter. So probably within 10 days we are going to complete our revision of the first year syllabus. After completing this syllabus, you are having the examination on these 9 chapters soon. And if questions comes from the out of the syllabus, then I will make changes in the question paper, and we have to write the examination on these 9 chapters. But because within the given time we have only covered these chapters, and some chapters are not in the syllabus. So, and on these chapters we are writing the examination, and on the examination results will be given by your first year results. So, and today we will discuss the first chapter, that is called as the living world. We are revising the chapter 1 called the living world. The living world. Okay, and within the given time we have to complete the revision of this chapter. Means within one period we have to complete the revision, and this chapter consisting of few topics. And what are those few topics? Is here. First one, what is living? Means in this one we are going to study about the characters of living organisms. Characters of living organisms. Characters of living organisms. We have already discussed about the characters of living organisms. What are the main characters of living organisms? And which means first one, growth. Here, increase in mass and increase in number are the twin characters of growth means increase in mass and increase in number are the twin characters of growth. And here in the revision we have to concentrate on the important topics on which you are going to get a question. Means here mass and then ask the question like this here, what are the twin characters of the growth? Means here the twin characters of growth is mass, increase in mass and increase in number. These are the twin characters of growth. Increase in mass and increase in number are the twin characters of growth. And here all multicellular organisms grow by cell division, and all unicellular organisms are also grow by cell division. Yeah. And one more thing we have to discuss here, all multicellular and unicellular, both multicellular and unicellular organisms are shows growth by cell division. They show growth by cell division. And here the living organisms and both non-living organisms also grow. Here the living organisms show inside, the growth occurs from inside. Growth occurs from inside by cell division. For example, this is one plant body, and the plant body, the width of the stem increases from inside to outside, and hence the size of the stem increases. And whereas the non-living organisms also grow. I said that the non-living organisms also grow. And how the non-living organisms grow? The non-living organisms grow by outside. The non-living organisms grow by the growth occurs from outside. Non-living organisms growth occurs from outside. How the growth occurs from outside in the non-living organisms means, yeah, the non-living organisms grow by the accumulation of material on the surfaces. Accumulation of material on the surfaces. Which means, for example, this is a mountain. This is a mountain in the Himalayan region. Let us think about the Himalayan region. And this is a mountain. And during the winter season, the snow used to fall on the mountain. The snow used to fall on the mountain here. The snow falls and the growth of the mountain increases. Means here, growth occurs from the outside. I said that growth occurs from the outside. Means here, the outside growth occurs due to the accumulation of material, accumulation of material means the growth occurs. For example, what is the length of this mountain? For example, 1 kilometer length. For example, it is 1 kilometer length. And with the accumulation of material and 10 meters increase up to here during the summer season, and up to here only 10 meters, and in the winter season up to here this is the growth. This is 10 meters. 1 kilometer, I said 1 kilometer. And 1 kilometer, and 10 meters increase during the summer. 10 meters increase 1 kilometer, 1.1 kilometer growth. Here, the growth occurs from the outside. And the living organism growth occurs from inside. And here, so actually, in the living organisms, the growth is permanent and irreversible. And in non-living organisms, the growth is reversible. And during winter season, the growth increases. During the summer season, the growth decreases. So the growth is reversed according, or in the case of non-living things, in the living organisms, the growth is permanent and it is not reversible. And so non-living organisms are growing and living organisms are also showing the growth. Hence the growth is not the defining property of living organisms. So growth is not a defining property. Defining property. Growth is not a defining property of living organisms. Hence, this growth is not the defining property of living organisms. And let us move to one more characters of the growth and one more characters of the living organism, that is called reproduction. Growth is completed. And next move to the reproduction. Second one, reproduction. Make sure that within the given time we have to revise whole chapter. Okay. And the second one, reproduction. Second one, reproduction. Actually, I will not go with this much speed, but this is the revision we need to move to high speed by revising the syllabus. And reproduction here, reproduction means production of progeny possessing more or less similarity. More or less similarity. Those of their parents. Those of parents. That is called means production of the progeny, giving the daughter organisms, and the daughter organisms should be just like their parents. That is called means producing the progeny, producing the daughter organisms, and those daughter organisms should be like their parents. That is called as reproduction. Okay, and let us see whether this reproduction is a defining property of living organisms or not. Let us see. And here, the living organisms means in the reproduction. If you think about the reproduction, first we will think about the sexual reproduction only. And here in the sexual reproduction means, okay, this is the production of progeny. And some organisms also undergo asexual reproduction. Here, organisms like fungi reproduce asexually by production of asexual spores. Production of asexual spores. Production of asexual spores means actually this is the meaning of sexual reproduction, and some organisms also show asexual reproduction. Here in asexual reproduction, the fungi asexually reproduce by the production of asexual spores, and next yeast and hydra reproduce by budding. Small buds are formed on the body of the yeast or hydra. And next, one more very, very important thing that is called as the organism which shows the true regeneration. What is that organism? You all know very well that is called the planaria. The organism called planaria. Planaria show true regeneration. Planaria show true regeneration. In the organism which shows true regeneration, very, very important, planaria. Otherwise, they may ask how the fungi reproduce asexually by the production of asexual spores. How the yeast and the hydra reproduce asexually by budding on markets. These are all one market, and they are also very, very important for your competitive purpose. And here, the fungi reproduce asexually by formation of asexual spores, and the yeast and the hydra reproduce asexually by the formation of buds or budding. And the planaria, this is a very, very important, repeatedly asking question. And here, it is called the planaria, which shows the true regeneration. And next, some organisms like fungi. and Protonema of Moses. They reproduce by fragmentation. What are they called? They reproduce by fragmentation. They reproduce by fragmentation. They reproduce by fragmentation. Here, Protonema of Moses, fungi and yeast, and they reproduce by yeast. They reproduce by fragmentation. These are the different types of asexual reproduction. And asexual reproduction, you know, and the male and female organisms couple with each other, and they produce egg and egg and sperm, and they meet and they produce the progeny. And this is the actual definition for the sexual reproduction. And asexual reproduction means the single parent can produce the daughter organism, that is called as the asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction, for example, fungi by asexual spores, yeast and hydra by budding, and planaria, which shows the true regeneration, and fungi and Protonema of moss plants can asexually reproduce by the fragmentation process. And can this reproduction be the defining property of living organisms? No. Why? Because some of the organisms which doesn't show reproduction. What are the living organisms which doesn't show reproduction? You can think of yourself in your mind, and what are the things what are the organisms, what are the living organisms that can't show the reproduction. Which means here, I have already told you, which doesn't show the reproduction. Name the organism or give the example for the organisms which do not show reproduction. Means here, mules, sterile worker bees, and third one, unfertile human couples. And these are the three examples of living organisms which doesn't show the reproduction. Hence, the living organisms showing reproduction, and some living organisms are also unable to show the reproduction. Hence, reproduction is not the defining property of the living organism. Now, let us move to another property of living organism, or another character of living organism. Use sterile worker bees, unfertile human couples, very important. Give the example for the organism which doesn't show reproduction. Give the example for the living organism which doesn't show reproduction. And the next one, third one, here metabolism. Third one, metabolism. Here, you know very well about the definition of the metabolism, and the sum total of all chemical reactions that occur in our body called metabolism. The sum total of chemical reactions are biochemical reactions. Chemical reactions occur in our body called metabolism. The sum total of all chemical reactions. All chemical reactions that occur in our body are is called as metabolism. Here some metabolic reactions, some substrates are participated in the metabolic reactions and in the metabolism that are called as biomolecules. Here in the metabolism, biomolecules are participated in the chemical reactions. Here some biomolecules are formed from other biomolecules. These biomolecules are formed from other biomolecules. These biomolecules are formed from other biomolecules, and these biomolecules are changed into some other smaller biomolecules. Which means here the complex substances are converted into simpler substances, or simpler substances are together form a complex substance. I have already told you. Here The biomolecules are participated in the metabolic reactions. The biomolecules are the substrates for the metabolic reactions. And here the biomolecules are formed from other biomolecules, and these biomolecules are converted into some other biomolecules in the metabolic reactions or in the metabolism. And you can see the metabolic reactions in the cell-free system or in the test tube baby. We are providing in the test tube baby the biomolecule means the biochemical metabolic reactions are occur outside the body of living organism, but they are surely living reactions. Hence, you can say the metabolism is the defining property. We can accept this metabolism. It is the defining property of living organisms. And we have discussed three characters of living organisms. And here, first character, growth is not a defining property, and reproduction is not a defining property. Next, coming to the metabolism, and the metabolism is the defining property of living organisms. And next one, the ability to sense the environment. The ability to sense the environment. The ability to sense the environment. This is another character of growth, and it is also called the defining property of living organism or defining character of living organisms. And the ability to sense the environment. And here, the plants and animals can react to the outside environment. For example, here, for outside environment, just like air, water, and for the soil, and for the temperature, and we all react to this outside outside environment. Here, the plants respond to the air, means the plants can take the oxygen, and the animals can take the oxygen, and the plants grow by absorbing water. The animals also consume the water. And the soil, here from the soil, the plants getting mineral nutrients, and for the temperature also, the plants due to high temperature, the plants wilt, and also the human beings or the animals will not stay in the hot sun or the high temperatures. And so, the ability to sense the environment and to give reaction to the outside environment. For example, some person touches you, and again you will give some respect, or you will give some response to the other person because of this ability to sense the environment. We can sense the environment by our sensory organs. We have the sensory organs like nose, eyes, and mouth, and ears. And due to those sensory organs, they are provided the sensory organs, but plant doesn't provide any sensory, but they can sense the outside environment. They will respond to outside air, water, and temperature, and the animals can also respond to the outside environment. Hence, the ability to sense the environment is the defining property of living organism. And the main source or main important in the sensing the environment is the human beings are the most superior to sense the organisms, and very, very important. Name the organism which has the most superior power to sense the outside environment. Means the human beings are the main organisms that can sense the organism by any other organisms. And these are the characters of living organism which comes under the what is living. And next, the living world. Diversity of living organisms. Next topic, diversity of living organisms. Diversity in the living world. Diversity in the living world. Diversity in the living world. It means here biodiversity. Biodiversity means the occurrence of all types of organisms on the earth. Now, the occurrence of occurrence all different types or total different types of living organisms. The occurrence of all different types of living organisms is called as biodiversity. And in our living world, there are different kinds of animals are there, different kinds of plants are there, different kinds of insects are there, different kinds of fishes are there, different kinds of birds are there. And for all these things occurring on the earth, on the occurrence of all these types of living organisms on the earth is called as the biodiversity. Okay, to come out the confusion, and we have given different names to different birds and different animals and different plants, and that is called as naming of the organism. That is called nomenclature. What is it called? Nomenclature. It's called nomenclature. This is called nomenclature. Means providing a suitable name. Generally, providing. I'm not telling you the biological nomenclature definition, but simply, what is nomenclature means? Providing a suitable name. Providing a suitable name to the organism is called as a nomenclature. And for the nomenclature, before giving the name, we need to do that is called as identification. Identification. We need to do identification for the nomenclature. We have to identify one organism. After identifying, we have to give the name. And for the naming of the organisms, there are two systems called ICBN. ICBN means International Code of or International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. This is the one system which provides names to the plants. And another thing that is called ICZN. ICZN. Here, International Code for Zoological Nomenclature. These are the two systems which provides names to the plants and the animals. And the ICZN means which provides names to the animals. There are two systems which provide or which give the names to plants and animals. For the plants, ICBN. For the animals, ICZN. ICBN, International Code for Botanical Nomenclature. ICZN, International Code for Zoological Nomenclature. And one more thing is there. You have to remember one more thing in this biodiversity of or diversity in the living organism. That is called systematics. What is that called? Systematics. Systematics means systematic arrangement. Systematic arrangement of living organisms. Systematic arrangement of living organisms is called the systematics. And this is about the nomenclature. And the next topic in this chapter called taxonomical categories. What is it called? taxonomical categories. Taxonomical categories. Taxonomical categories. Taxonomical categories. And in these taxonomical categories, they are getting in the taxonomical categories. We are reading about the taxonomical hierarchy. Taxonomical. Again, taxonomical hierarchy. They are all, and this is a very, very important bit for your examination. Taxonomical hierarchy means the arrangement of these taxonomical categories is called taxonomical hierarchy. Here, the stepwise arrangement of the taxonomical categories is called as taxonomical hierarchy. And here, ascending or descending order of the taxonomical hierarchy, you may be getting the question in the examination. What is the ascending or descending order of taxonomical hierarchy? Means here, kingdom, division, class, order, family, genus, and species. Division, class, order, family, genus, and species. Here, this is the ascending order. If you put the arrow mark upward, and this is the ascending order of taxonomical hierarchy. And we put the arrow mark downwards, and this is the descending order of taxonomical hierarchy. This is the descending order of the taxonomical hierarchy. And we put the arrow mark upward, and this is the ascending, and it will be the ascending order of the taxonomical hierarchy. And in the nomenclature, we need to discuss about one thing that is called as biological nomenclature. What is it called? Biological nomenclature. I want to tell you, biological nomenclature. The biological nomenclature. Here, the system of providing names with two components is called as biological nomenclature. The system of providing names with two components. System of providing names with two components is called as the biological nomenclature, and this is the taxonomical hierarchy. The taxonomical categories means species, genus, family, order, class, division, kingdom. And kingdom, one of the taxonomic category; division, one of the taxonomic category; class is one of the taxonomic category, and so on. And here, one more thing: biological classification. If I discuss this is called biological nomenclature, which means system of providing names with two components is called as the biological nomenclature. Here in the biological nomenclature, what is there in biological nomenclature? And there are 4 rules of biological nomenclature. The first rule of biological nomenclature means the biological names are, the scientific names are, they are taken from, or they are written in italics. They are written in italics, and to show their Latin origin, or they are written in italics, or they are taken from Latin language. They are taken from Latin language, and they are written or they are printed in italics, means cross. Here, their biological names are taken from Latin language, and they are printed in italics. So, why they are printed in italics means to show their origin or Latin origin. And second rule of biological nomenclature is, and the biological name consists of things. One is genus and another one is species or specific epithet. Biological name consists of two things, genus and species, and they are taken from Latin language and they are printed in italics to show their Latin origin. They are printed in italics. Next, the biological name consists of two names, and a genus name and a specific epithet. And third one, if they are handwritten, the biological names are handwritten. They are underlined. They are handwritten. They are handwritten. They are handwritten. They are underlined. And next one, the biological nomenclature. The genus name starts with capital letter. Genus starts with capital letter. And the species or specific epithet starts with small letter. Small letter. The genus name starts with capital letter and the specific epithet or species starts with a small letter. These are the 4 rules of biological nomenclature. You may get 3 mark question. What is biological nomenclature? And write any 2 rules of biological nomenclature. You can write any 2 rules of biological nomenclature among these 4 rules of biological nomenclature. And we all know that the taxonomical categories. We already discussed about the division or first one, the lowest class of taxonomical or the lowest category of taxonomical category is species. Is the lowest category. Species is the lowest category. As you know, already written about the highest category that is called as kingdom. Kingdom, division. This is descending order. Division, class, order, family, genus, and the species. The species is the lowest category, and kingdom is the highest category of living this taxonomical hierarchy. And species, the organisms with fundamental similarities. The organisms with fundamental similarities. The organisms with fundamental similarities called species. And genus, the aggregation of species. Aggregation of species. Aggregation of species is the aggregation of closely related species is called genus. Next, family. The several genus combinedly called as a family. And order, the closely related families comes under the same order. And the class, the group of orders comes under the class. And the group of classes comes under the division. And all divisions comes under a single kingdom. There are all the plants under the plant kingdom and all the animals under the animal kingdom. And this is about the taxonomical categories and taxonomical hierarchy. And next, you are provided some names of the living or some of the organisms like humans, biological name, human, Homo sapiens, Homo sapiens. And humans are housefly, like housefly, H-O-U, housefly. Musca domestica, housefly. And mango, Mangifera indica, capital F. Mangifera indica. Indica, you don't write capital letter here. This is a species name, and so you have to write about that or write it with the small letter. And mango, Triticum eastrum. Next one, Triticum eastrum. And these are the scientific names of the human beings, housefly, mango, and other plant and Triticum mysticum and Homo sapiens, Mascota mystica, Mangifera indica, and Triticum mysticum. These are the scientific names, and you need to go through the table that is given in the textbook for these scientific names. And among these scientific names, you are going to get one scientific name in your examination. And the last thing that is given in the textbook, that is called taxonomical aids. Taxonomical aids, that is not in your syllabus. Taxonomical aids. So it is not in the syllabus for this year. For you people, taxonomical aids is botanical gardens, zoological parks, keys, and they are not in your syllabus. Okay. Today we have completed the revision of one chapter. Revision means I will take only one class for one chapter. Roughly we will take 10 days to complete or to revise all your biology syllabus that are completed in your offline classes. So let us try to do one or two classes for your online classes for your secondary syllabus. First let me complete your first year syllabus revision. So that's it for today. Thank you.